The Vault of Ancients had stood silent for 300 years, its crystalline walls humming with dormant power. Inside, suspended in a column of pale blue light, the sentinel armor waited. Dozens of species had tried to bond with it. Warriors, scholars, diplomats, but the Biotech refused them all. It had been forged by humanity during the Great Collapse, the last desperate creation of a dying civilization, and it would accept no unworthy host. Gamora pressed her palm against the vault's entrance, feeling the cool metal beneath her fingertips. Behind her, Cooper adjusted his scanner, frowning at the readings. "This is insane," he muttered. "Gamora, 37 people have died trying to interface with that thing. 37. She didn't turn around. Then I'll be the 38th attempt. Or the first success." Cooper had known her long enough to recognize that tone, the one that said argument was futile. They'd grown up together in the refugee camps on Kepler 442b, two human orphans among thousands of displaced aliens. While others had accepted their fate as the last remnants of a forgotten species, Gamora had always been different. She'd trained, studied, pushed herself beyond every limit. The vault door recognized her human DNA and slid open with a hiss of recycled air. Inside, the armor gleamed like liquid mercury frozen mid-flow. It was both elegant and terrifying, a perfect synthesis of biology and technology that no modern civilization had managed to replicate. Tendrils of neural interface material drifted lazily around it, seeking, always seeking. "The Vrex Armada will be here in 6 hours," Gamora said quietly, stepping toward the column. 6 hours before they finish what they started 3 centuries ago, wiping humanity's legacy from existence. "The Council has evacuation ships ready." "To run where, Cooper?" She finally looked back at him, her dark eyes fierce. "We've been running for 300 years. Every colony, every station, every hidden asteroid base, they find us. They burn us. Because we refuse to fight back with the only weapon we have left." Cooper's jaw tightened. He knew she was right. The Vrex Collective had hunted humanity's survivors across the galaxy, terrified of what humans had been capable of creating. The Sentinel armor was proof of that fear, a weapon system so advanced, so perfectly calibrated to human aggression and adaptability, that even the Vrex's billion-strong swarms couldn't guarantee victory against it. That's why they'd made sure no one could use it. Gamora stepped into the light column. Immediately, the neural tendrils shot toward her, wrapping around her arms, her legs, her torso. Cooper watched in horror as they burrowed beneath her skin, and Gamora screamed, a raw, primal sound of agony. "Gamora!" He rushed forward, but an energy barrier blocked his path. Through the crackling field, he could see her convulsing as the armor's consciousness invaded her mind. Every previous candidate had died at this stage, their neural patterns too incompatible with the ancient human wetware. But Gamora wasn't collapsing. She was standing, fists clenched, teeth gritted against the pain. Inside her mind, Gamora felt the armor testing her, drowning her in simulations of combat, moral dilemmas, impossible choices. It showed her humanity's sins, the wars, the genocides, the environmental collapses. It demanded to know if she was worthy to carry their legacy. "Are you fighting for revenge?" the armor's consciousness asked, its voice like grinding metal. "No," she gasped. "For glory? No, then why?" Gamora saw Cooper's face through the barrier, desperate, terrified, loyal. She thought of the children in the camps who'd never seen Earth, who only knew humanity through stories. She thought of the peaceful colonies the Vrex had sterilized, leaving nothing but ash and silence. "Because someone has to," she whispered. "Because we deserve to exist. Because 300 years of fear ends now." The armor went still. Then it spoke, not in her mind, but aloud, its voice resonating through the vault. Compatible host detected, Sentinel protocol initiating. The tendrils retracted, but the armor remained, now perfectly merged with Gamora's body. It covered her like a second skin, black as void with circuits of electric blue pulsing across its surface. Her eyes glowed with the same ethereal light, enhanced vision showing her everything. Structural weak points, energy signatures, tactical projections. The barrier dropped. Cooper stumbled forward, staring at her in awe. "How do you feel?" he asked. Gamora flexed her fingers, feeling the armor respond to her thoughts instantly. Power flooded through her, not just physical strength, but access to weapons systems, defensive shields, and combat algorithms perfected by humanity's greatest military minds. Like I've been asleep my whole life, she said. Her voice carried a harmonic resonance now, human and something more. And I just woke up. An alert blared through the vault. Cooper checked his scanner, his face going pale. The Vrex fleet just entered the system. They're ahead of schedule. Through the armor's sensors, Gamora could feel them, thousands of vessels converging on their location, confident in their numerical superiority. They'd won every battle for 3 centuries. They had no reason to expect this one to be different. She walked toward the vault exit, each step making the ancient structure tremble. Cooper followed, his expression torn between hope and terror. "What's the plan?" he asked. Gamora paused at the threshold, looking up at the sky where the Vrex armada was already visible. A dark swarm blotting out the stars. The armor fed her tactical data, probability matrices, threat assessments. Against any other opponent, the numbers would be terrifying. But the Sentinel armor hadn't been built to fight fair. It had been built to win. She felt something she hadn't experienced in years. Certainty. Not hope. Hope was for people who weren't sure. This was different. This was the cold, calculated confidence of a predator remembering what it was made to do. Gamora turned to Cooper and smiled. Not the weary expression he'd grown accustomed to, but something fierce and uncompromising. "Let's finish this," she said. The armor erupted with light as weapon systems came online, and Gamora launched herself into the sky like a comet. Behind her, Cooper watched through tears as humanity's last guardian went to war. The Vrex had spent 300 years trying to erase humanity's legacy. They were about to learn why that had been a mistake. The armor had finally found its wielder, and she had 3 centuries of fear to burn away.